We are going to start with the candidate for district director. You may introduce yourself now.
Olivia Mitchell, ATM.
Very good. Your first question. The district mission is we build new clubs and support all clubs. Tell us the main way in which you will support all clubs.
Thank you for that question. I am excited to say that with our team, we are planning on engaging our members more. It is important to take care of the members that you have and also to gain new members through better programming. As far as the excellence, our role is to make sure that all of our members are getting the education and the training they need. So we want to make sure that all of our members are well trained as far as officers. We will definitely have more educational sessions next year. And more than anything, we will engage our members in-house in their club meetings so that they thus will know that they are important, and also to support them in whatever goals they have in and outside of the Toastmaster program. I believe that with those platforms, we will be able to get new members, take care of the members, but also train and help our members grow. And that will help us with the district. Thank you.
Very good. Your second question. How will you focus the district's development of new clubs? Will the focus be on in-person meetings, hybrid meetings, or virtual meetings?
Thank you for that question. It will be whatever that club needs at the time. If some of our clubs are still meeting online, then we will support them where they are only online, especially since we have many members in our district that come from all over the world. So we have to go ahead and still care for those members. Those are hybrid. I know some clubs are able to do both, so we will also support them with new tools and ideas on how they can do both in a timely manner during their meetings, but also make sure that their technology, if they need any tips on technology, to give them tips on that. And as far as those that are in person, we will go ahead and help our members find those locations that will be opened up again. Some of us will actually go visit those clubs to support those, get the word out that those clubs that can meet in person can actually see one another with more programming, but also with more advertising. And that's how I think that we're going to do it. All three types.
Very good. Thank you. The third question is, what is the main resource that the district has to develop or magnify in order to support existing clubs?
Could you repeat your question again?
Certainly. What is the main resource that the district has to develop or magnify in order to support existing clubs?
I believe that from what we've done this year, I think the social media will be very key for the next year. I think that if we amplify the greatness that the program is to others, then I think we can get more members that way. I think the next year we should definitely focus on social media, but also support our members with their education and making sure that they get what they want from the program. That will be more recognition, that will be more engagement, that will be more phone calls, a lot more of congratulations. But the other part, and the main part next year we should implement, is more social media and getting the word out for the Toastmaster program.
Thank you very much. Your fourth question, and the last one of the questions before you have your closing statement, is how can the district rebuild the number of clubs to pre-pandemic levels? How can the district rebuild the number of clubs to pre-pandemic levels?
We can't always rebuild in the way that we want to. I think one way, though, that we can is to not necessarily go back to those that used to be Toastmasters, but to find those that are in the market for the program that we can give them. Right now, I know that we have lost so many clubs, and I think that we can either have clubs come together and then grow bigger, or we can have different clubs dispatch to other places. There are many of those that want to only be online. This is specific to those that want to stay online. I think that they can find more members that are a lot like themselves, so they can find from other places to come in. So advertising will be key. As far as right here in our district, I believe that once we get the word out that clubs are meeting again face to face, and a lot of us are dedicated to that, I think that will be another way for us to do that too.
Very good. Thank you very much. You may close with your closing statement.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be your candidate. It is important that you know that I am dedicated to how we all grow and how we all see the program. I love Toastmasters, and to lead this wonderful district will allow me to implement all the assets that I believe I have to improve the human connection. I believe that next year social media will be key. I also believe that if we help one another from club to club, it will be important too. So I want to be part of the new movement to allow us to find those new members and to cultivate those relationships that will help us be a better district. It will be my honor to serve as your district director, to partner with all of you in the ways that we used to and the way we will in the future. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. The next person to receive questions will be Craig Sprout, our program quality director candidate. Craig, do you have any questions before we start? Where is the unmute button? Is that what you're asking?
That's exactly what I was asking. Thank you.
Very good.
I'm Craig Sprout, DTM, currently a member. I've been a Toastmaster about 7 years, and I'm currently a member of New Braunfels Toastmasters. And I'm running for program quality director next year, and I hope to get all your support.
Very good. And you're going to receive 4 questions, and you get to give a closing statement at the end, all of 1 minute duration. You will see the timing light: green at 30, yellow at 45, red at 1 minute. First question: what is the main tool that the district has to develop and or promote to existing clubs in order for them to grow and achieve their goals? That's a long question. I will repeat it. What is the main tool that the district has to develop and or promote to existing clubs in order for them to grow and achieve their goals?
Thank you. I think our most important tool that we have to help grow our new clubs is, number one, is our members. As we have an amazing community of creative and wonderful members who I think we can tap into to help build our education program and get more training out there. And more importantly, start refreshing that training a little bit, because we kind of get into the habit of where we're given the same slides, the same canned decks from Toastmasters over and over again. And so my hope is to tap into the power of this wonderful Toastmasters community and help improve that education program, help that club officers training, and get officers to want to get trained again and be excited for it.
Very good. Your second question: what geographic areas of the district do you believe have the greatest potential for growing existing clubs? What geographic areas of the district do you believe have the greatest potential for growing existing clubs?
Thank you for that. I think after the past year, from the things that I've seen come in as club growth director, it really looks like our biggest growth potential is in Austin. That's where we seem to be getting the most inquiries from right now, is the Austin area. We're getting, second would be San Antonio, and then third, of course, is Corpus in the Valley. I still think there's great potential in Corpus in the Valley. I really do. And like I've said all year, I still think there's also potential for all those towns in between, Victoria, Pearsall, places like that, that don't maybe necessarily have enough members to support a club in and of themselves, but with technology can join other clubs in other areas and find things that meet their own interest. But initially, I'd say number one is the Austin metro area.
Very good. The third question is, how can existing clubs make a bigger deal of recognizing member accomplishments in the virtual and hybrid world? How can existing clubs make a bigger deal of recognizing member accomplishments in the virtual and hybrid world?
I think that's a tough one because it really varies from club to club. Our club, my old club, would go kind of in cycles where we were really focused on making sure that we had new member inductions and announcements of awards and tried to make a big deal out of everything. And then that kind of went to the wayside. And then it's kind of coming back again. I don't have a 100% solid answer for that because each club has a different culture. But what I think we can do is make sure at the district level, and this is something I learned from Linda Oliver a few years back, every time I got an educational achievement, I got a little card from Linda Oliver. Now that's a little tougher in the days of pathways, but maybe we can expedite that process to where when a member reaches an educational accomplishment or joins a club even, that they get a little something from the district that says, hey, welcome, we're glad to have you. Thank you for being part of our program.
And your fourth question, how can the district make club officer training more appealing? How can the district make club officer training more appealing?
Well, as I alluded earlier, I think part of it is we kind of got to get our heads together and put new material together. Some of it's coming down from TI that's new and a little fresher, but I still see slides that refer to manuals. And we've been on pathways for about 3 years, and that's kind of a little irritating. I've held every office and taken every class, and I've taught every class. And it does get a little stale. And so what my hope is, again, with help from members and hopefully help from TI, that we can start injecting a little more fun into the club officer training, because there's kind of this dread that all of us have. It's like, oh, it's club officer training again. Do I have to go? And my hope is we can kind of turn that bus around and say, have all these people saying, hey, cool, what are we going to be learning about this time? That's my hope, with help from our wonderful family of creative members.
Very good. Thank you, Craig. You have 1 minute to provide your closing statement.
Thanks, Umberto. In closing, I would just like to ask you for the opportunity to serve. I'm not going to say that I'm the greatest at this and I'm going to be 100%, 1000% stars all over. What I can promise you is I will give you 100% all the time. My phone is always available. You can call me, members can call me. Sometimes I'm a little slow on email. I'm improving on that. But my hope is just to be an open book, and anything that anyone needs, come to me. If you have a need, I'll see if I can get it addressed. Thank you, Umberto, and everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you, Craig. Our third speaker will be Yatim Liu, floor candidate for the position of Club Growth Director. That is to be, of course, determined tomorrow, but we're giving her the opportunity to speak now so that we don't take up time in the meeting tomorrow. Yatim, welcome. You are familiar with the format now. You know how everything works. You have any questions?
No, yeah, I observed how the other two candidates have gone through your questions. I guess I'm ready.
Okay, I'm not going to pull any surprises on you. It's going to be just the same format. And your first question is, what geographic areas of the district do you believe have the greatest potential for starting new clubs? What geographic areas of the district do you believe have the greatest potential for starting new clubs?
I would say that they all have a great potentials. What I would like to do is to learn about the district and the areas. And I also agree with the Craig that the Austin, San Antonio area, due to sheer population and number of existing clubs, it has a huge potential. However, um, I would say that all all regions probably provide different opportunities, and I would like to explore and meet the clubs and talk to people and um, discover opportunities.
Very good, thank you. Your second question, what type of clubs do you believe are more likely to form in the district this coming year? What type of clubs do you believe are more likely to form in the district this coming year?
My experience is that the corporate-based clubs may provide us a good direction to work on. One is that there is a bigger incentive corporate-wise for people who want to improve their public speaking and leadership skills. And I think the companies are asking people to go back to offices. I'm aware of the challenge of the club growth, but given people are slowly going back to the office, then we can look at all the corporations and companies to see where the opportunities exist. And then community clubs, I'm not familiar with that, but I would look at that as well. But I would say the corporate clubs may have a good potential for us to work on.
Very good, thank you. The third question is, describe the composition of your team to assist you in conducting presentations and demo meetings for new clubs. Describe the composition of your team to assist you in conducting presentations and demo meetings for new clubs.
Well, this is a new role that I have never taken before, but I'm thinking what would help when I was a division director was that it would be great that we can provide mentors and coaches. So I would build a team that help to recruit mentors and coaches and focus on building struggling existing clubs so that they don't fold. And on top of that, I would work hard to build an inspiring team and to reach out to all the potential leads to build new clubs.
Very good, thank you. And your fourth question, do you think that using model clubs instead of demo meetings is a good idea for growing new clubs? Do you think that using model clubs instead of demo meetings is a good idea for growing new clubs?
Actually, I don't know for sure on that. I don't know. So I'll try it out. I personally like demo meetings. Uh, what I think is that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. It's difficult for for me to know what the people prefer, and uh, um, if we actually lower the expectation of the the potential clubs and members, they can say, oh wow, that's what it is, maybe I can do that. Then we can actually slowly lead them to potential look at the model clubs. But right now I actually don't know which one is better. I would be willing to try both. Thank you.
Very good. You have 1 minute to provide your closing statement.
Oh, well, thank you for having me here, and I'm excited to run for the club growth director. And I've been Toastmasters, I've been a member since 2014, so that's about 8 years. And I earned my DTM in 2020. Last fall, WAFA reached out to me and encouraged me to apply for this position. And that's when I learned about the challenge that we're facing, that we lost the clubs and we do want to restore to pre-pandemic level. I don't know if what we can achieve, but I'm excited to be part of the team. But I think there is a lot we can do together, and to figure out what the people prefer and to see what's the best.
Very good. Thank you.
Did I?
You've
Okay. So.
Yeah, you demonstrated that WAFA can meet you at 1 minute. So you now all are forewarned that this can happen, but that's all right. Thank you for those comments. We will now go by division director in alphabetical order by division. Do you have any questions before we start, Blanca? Do you understand how everything's? Very good. We will start with your first question. In addition to area directors, will you have an administrative team to assist in the support of your division? And if so, what will this team look like? In addition to area directors, will you have an administrative team to assist you in the support of your division? And if so, what will this team look like?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Yes, I would definitely consider that option of having a second group to administer, I guess, some of the basic programs of Toastmasters, because we do have very low participation in DCP, so we do have to concentrate in that area. Some of our current clubs do not have a lot of points, so I think that is a very important issue to address. That means there isn't a lot of participation in pathways, so I'm concerned about that. Yes, definitely. Other than the regular issues of monthly meetings and targeting goals, yes, we do have to target some of our problems, and that would what the new, I guess, group would target at this point.
Very good. Your second question, in what geographic areas of your division do you think you can achieve the most growth? In what geographic areas of your division do you think you can achieve the most growth?
Well, certainly at the Rio Grande Valley, of course, that's where I'm from, and Corpus, we have a lot of room for growth in these two areas. Laredo, Humberto, I will give it a good shot. I know it's a tough area, but when Shield closed down in the Cameron County area, we're split into Cameron County, Hidalgo County. There were some realtors that were constantly asking me, when will you start a new club? And there were mostly from the Cameron County area. Professional clubs, I think, is the way to go in the Rio Grande Valley. Advertise to them. Go to the chambers. reach the professionals, maybe we could get some new club growth in that area.
Thank you, Blanca. Third question. What is the best focus for developing the existing clubs in your division? What is the best focus for developing the existing clubs in your division?
The best focus, is that what
yes.
you said?
Yes, the best
Okay.
focus.
In strengthening them, that would be advertising. I just don't see enough of Toastmasters being promoted at all. I look for it. And other than the Brownsville Toastmasters doing their Facebook thing, and I really enjoy that. And I really applaud them for being that proactive in the social media. I think all clubs need to do that. We don't have enough social media in the rest of the participating clubs. That would be a focus, and of course, meeting with professional organizations such as, you know, what is it, the Lions? I think they're waiting to be.
You were just testing WAFA, we know, don't worry. The fourth question for you is, what do you think are the most effective ways to communicate with your administrative team? What do you think are the most effective ways to communicate with your administrative team?
Please unmute yourself, Blanca.
Thank you, Wafa. Call them, talk to them, meet with them, all of the above. Constant reminders, not necessarily constant emails, because they don't like that, you know, but a personal contact, personal touch, ideas. Listen to them to see what the ideas are, because we do need fresh ideas. We need new ideas, because what was working in the past is not working now. So we need a different strategy to promote Toastmasters, whether it's in the Rio Grande Valley, whether it's in Laredo, Corpus, or San Antonio. I want to know if anybody has any ideas that we can, you know, stand behind and really rally behind that new idea, whoever it might be. Whether it's from the administrative team or someone outside the team. I'm ready to listen.
Very good, thank you. And you have 1 minute for your final closing statement.
Thank you. I'm ready to learn. You can teach this old goat new tricks. And I'm ready to go for it. I have the servant leadership style, where I will support those individuals who just wanted an opportunity to get their ideas rolling. I'll step aside, I'll support them in any which way they want to be supported. Any new initiative, I'm there. I'll even meet with you if you don't mind personally. I'll take the time to visit with you and sit down over coffee. It doesn't have to be Starbucks, and see what we need to do to get it going. Thank you, Mr. Vela.
Quite welcome, thank you, Blanca. G is for Grace. Grace Bennett, Division G candidate. You know how it works. Any questions before we start?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great.
Here comes your first question. What is your go-to method of communication? And do you think it is the most effective in today's Toastmaster world? What is your go-to method of communication? And do you think it is the most effective in today's Toastmaster world?
My natural method is email and texting. Is it the most effective? Sometimes, sometimes not. I think you need to understand your audience and then adjust to that. If it's a team of folks that want to text, they'll never look at their emails, then you use the text. Some other people don't like text, they'd rather have the email. You just have to do different ways. I have a background in marketing and advertising. It's a while ago, but even then, you don't just send one message out. You have to use different media and attack from different ways. Some people will see this message, some people will see this one, and hopefully you get enough coverage that you get your message out to the majority of the folks. At the end of the day, it just depends. You have to experiment and see what works.
Very good. Thank you. Your second question, what do you consider the biggest danger to the existing clubs in your division? What do you consider the biggest danger to the existing clubs in your division?
You said club as in singular? Existing clubs?
Existing clubs.
Okay. I think it's a lack of energy. And once the pandemic hit, some clubs stopped meeting. Other clubs didn't miss a beat and they kept going. Some clubs that I visited when I was area director, the ones that had the high energy, those flourished and do better, even in an online environment. I think the energy is the key. And you can, when you visit as an area director, if you can just put some energy into the club, make the meeting a little more exciting, other people get excited, the club does better. So I think that's a danger in any club, not just in Division G, even though G is great, but you just have to, it's the energy. You can't let that energy fall. And I think with the online meetings.
So G is for grace, G is for great. And the third question is, what do you think is the biggest opportunity for growth of new clubs in your division? What do you think is the biggest opportunity for growth of new clubs in your division?
I think with the cases, COVID cases going down, more clubs coming back in person, just the clubs that I belong to 3 clubs. One of them started meeting back in person. We started calling old members. I mean, not old members, but you know what I mean, that they had left when we started going online. They've come back and they're excited. Sometimes when we advertise on Meetup, Facebook, I'll get a ping and says, hey, are you guys meeting back in person yet? People are anxious to come back in person. The more we can encourage that, I think, as I said, it's the energy. People love coming back in person. So I think that's going to really help boost our membership back up. At the same time, we know the technology now, so we can keep it hybrid so those people can still join if they can't make it in person.
Very good. Your fourth and final question. What are the current demographics of the clubs in your division, and do they need to change? What are the current demographics of the clubs in your division, and do they need to change?
The demographics in the clubs vary club to club, and even within each club. Even the club that I belong to, we have some very tenured Toastmasters, as well as, we're so excited, we have a brand new 19-year-old who realized that she needs to develop her skills in speaking, and she joined us, and she's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. That in itself adds energy to the club because it's exciting and refreshing. I don't think it needs to change at all. There are some clubs who are who they are, and they're happy being that way. Let them be, let them prosper in their own way. That's what's so great about Toastmasters, is it fits for everybody and you can make it fit for you.
Very good. Your closing statement, you have 1 minute, please.
Chair, August will be my 10-year anniversary as a Toastmaster, and I am proof that the Toastmaster program works. If you knew me back then, like Umberto does, you would agree. Personally, I have grown as a communicator, a leader, and a person as a result of the program, and I feel like it's time for me to give back. I am excited to be nominated as a division director for this upcoming year. What I love about Toastmasters is that everything we do benefits more than ourselves, whether it's giving an evaluation, sharing an event, or taking on a leadership role. It's always a win-win-win. Division G is a natural fit for me because G is, like we said, it's great, it's glamorous, and it's full of grace. I humbly request your support in electing me as your Division G director. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Grace. We will now go on to Division H. Don Kennel Colvin, are you prepared to go online with voice and video? You have any questions for me?
No.
If not, I've got some for you. You know how it works. We're going to start off with question number 1. Is Ralph Medley's idea that we learn best when we are having fun still a viable option in today's Toastmaster world? Is Ralph Medley's idea that we learn best when we are having fun still a viable option in today's Toastmaster world?
Absolutely. That's how we capture the audience. That's how we get them engaged. That's how we draw them back. That's how we keep them motivated. Actually, I'm kind of glad to hear you say that. I delivered a Moments of Truth speech to one of the visits that I made as an area director recently, and I used that quote in my Moments of Truth. So I think that that's very appropriate. And I think that it sheds light to what we need to put the focus back on, that engagement, that drawing people in and being friendly and personable.
Very good, thank you. Your second question. Where do you think is the greatest opportunity for growth in your division? Where do you think is the greatest opportunity for growth in your division?
I think that our division, just in the division, I think the greatest opportunity for growth in the division is continuing to grow in the corporate area. I think that we have a lot of area of growth potential in corporate and in reaching back out to members who have stopped participating due to COVID. There are a lot of individuals who have been burnt out on meeting virtually, and there are a lot of individuals who need an extra nudge when it comes to pathways. So making that fun, making that viable, and bringing them in is going to make a difference with that.
Very good. Your third question. What new administrative idea do you want to implement in your division? What new administrative idea do you want to implement in your division?
That is a really good question. I'm not sure about a new initiative, but I think that really vamping up the initiative of checking in with the area directors, making sure that they have all of the support and they're able to support the teams and the clubs and continue to work to fill the gaps. I think that throughout COVID, we've gotten to a point where we are spread extra thin. And when we network and all work together, we're able to provide a much better experience for all of the members. And when we provide that engagement and empowerment, that's when we draw them back.
Very good. Your fourth question. What avenue of communication with the district trio do you think is essential for rapid and effective problem resolution? What avenue of communication with the district trio do you think is essential for rapid and effective problem resolution?
I've reached out to the trio in multiple ways. I think that emailing is a way to get everyone on the same page at the same time, but you can also do that with text messaging. And I will just say that I will reach out however I need to get the support that we need for our area, our division. So I would use text messaging, phone calls, video calling, whatever is necessary to get the answers and the solution that we need to provide the support for the clubs.
Very good. Thank you, Dawn. You have 1 minute for your closing statement.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve as a division director. I look forward to the opportunity to encouraging continued growth. I know that I'm not perfect and that it's a new field for me, so I'll be learning along with you, and that we learn the most when we push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. So I'm hoping that by leading by example and continuing to push forward and encourage others, that it will catch fire and more people will want to step up and serve and give back and encourage others so that we keep growing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. And we're going on to Division I. Eddie Montemayor, any questions?
No, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
And we're ready to go. Question number 1. What is the best way to eliminate communication problems in an organization like Toastmasters? What is the best way to eliminate communication problems in an organization like Toastmasters?
Thank you for the question, Humberto. I think the best way to eliminate communication problems, and I'm thinking in terms of things like misunderstandings, is to engage in more direct lines of communication. The more direct the line of communication, the better off you are in clearing up any misunderstandings. So I'm thinking about things like phone calls, actual phone calls to people, and making sure that you have direct lines of communication with people who can give you the resources that you need. And that means my communication with the trio, of course, and even with my area directors, and as well with other division directors as needed as well. And thank you for the question, Humberto.
Welcome. Question number 2 is, what clubs in your division are most likely to fail in the immediate future, and can they be saved? What clubs in your division are the most likely to fail in the immediate future, and can they be saved?
The clubs that are most likely to fail are those that are teetering on the precipice of that 8-member threshold, right? If they go to another renewal period and they fail to renew 8 members, then they are in danger of being suspended. And to those clubs, I would recommend that either they think about merging, if possible. If they're a corporate club and there's another corporate club within the same company, and this actually happened in my area, those clubs actually merge, or I should say the membership of one club decided to move to another club, and that's how that had worked out. And I would recommend to those clubs to double up their recruiting efforts and help them and I would try to help them in any way that I possibly could. Thank you.
Very good. The third question is, what current practice in our district do you think is the hardest to sell to clubs in your division? What current practice in our district do you think is the hardest to sell to clubs in your division?
the current practice that I think is hardest to sell, and I'm thinking of a particular demographic here when I think about more, how should I say, more experienced or more tenured Toastmasters, as it has been so delicately put before, and selling them on the idea of picking up pathways, as opposed to the old legacy manual program. Especially in my home club, it has been a journey to try to convince folks to get on pathways. I think that is the most difficult selling point. Why should they do pathways as opposed to just doing non-manual speeches? And of course, I tried to sell them on the DCP program to say, yes, we may think of ourselves as the best club, but that doesn't mean anything when we do not meet our education goals compared to other clubs. We have to pit ourselves and compete and make sure that we are the best.
Very good. I'm glad you saw that Wafa is still awake. Thanks for helping us maintain her in that condition. The fourth question, what characteristic do you consider essential in an area director? What characteristic do you consider essential in a great area director?
The characteristic that I consider essential is that they are willing and that they are excited to meet new people, because that is the primary function of an area director, is to visit clubs. And I think that is the most exciting part of being an area director. And that is to visit clubs, not just twice a year, but as often as possible. And in my area, I've visited my own clubs as area director maybe 6 or 7 times just to get to know the club before I even make my report, so that I can give a more holistic impression of what that club is about and what their problem areas are and what suggestions I can give to help them with their problems. Thank you.
Thank you. And you have 1 minute to provide your closing statement.
Thank you, Humberto. I joined Toastmasters back in July of 2018, so I guess relatively new compared to some of you folks out there. But it has been, even in that short amount of time, invaluable in helping me find my voice and find my confidence. And that is something I want to emulate for new folks, for new Toastmasters, for more experienced Toastmasters, and for potential Toastmasters alike. That is what I want to do. There's probably no way I can pay back for those experienced Toastmasters who have given me that opportunity, to pay them back the invaluable advice that they have given me and that experience. So I'm paying it forward, and this is my way of doing so in trying to help the district in the best way possible. Thank you for nominating me as division director, and I would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you very much. And we are skipping Teju because she is traveling due to family reasons, as we stated before. So we're going to Division K. Angie Santos. Are you ready, Angie?
I am ready. Let's rock
Very
and roll.
good. Here we go. Question number 1. How can your division develop more club coaches and mentors? How can your division develop more club coaches and mentors?
Thank you for that question. I was hoping I would be asked something to that extent, because I am the living example of what having coaches and mentors, the benefits of having coaches and mentors, what it does for someone who's brand new to Toastmasters. And I've seen it in the last 4 years of being in Toastmasters. I've seen the change, the growth, and the ample opportunities. And so Division K, I believe, would be benefiting from the ability to provide training and workshops and open communication lines to create and foster more relationships with the members that would be more willing to become coaches and mentors and continue the tradition by helping others.
Good. Your second question, what demographic currently fits best with your division? And does that need to change? What demographic currently fits best with your division? And does that need to change?
I am a true believer and strong proponent of change. However, when you look at the demographic of the division that would be mine, I don't necessarily agree that we have to have change right away. I believe that having the differences in demographic, having that variety is what makes a division successful. It's what allows us to really open up our minds, our creative juices flow better. And it really does help the district because the division will become stronger by having those differences. So demographically, I feel that the better range we have, the better we are in standing for promoting growth and development and effective leadership. I prefer to help people behind the scenes, so to speak. And so having that demographic.
Office still awake. What support do you most need from a club quality director? What support do you most need from a club quality director?
Angie, please unmute yourself.
Yes, I was waiting for my 4-year-old to finish his thought. As far as support, not only from the club growth director, but really from the district, I believe that having open lines of communication, I cannot stress that enough. I feel that we are better when we communicate not only the ideas, but also the process and the vision. And if we can all get on the same page, then it really makes that transition a lot smoother. So as far as support, as long as the club growth director is willing to hear ideas and share ideas and be encouraging, supportive, and a resource for the division, I feel that really, again, takes the division to a higher level of success.
Good, let's go in the other direction. Do area directors need more support than what they have currently? Do area directors need more support than what they have currently?
I will honestly say that when I was an area director, and I was not an area director in Division 55, I had a great trio, but sometimes the communication lines were really faltering. There was a little bit of a lack of understanding. And in District 55, the almost 3 years I've been with District 55, what I have seen is everybody has ideas, everybody has their heart in the right place, but we seem to have a little bit of a struggle in getting those ideas out when we think of somebody as being of authority. I feel that the area directors could benefit from having more trainings, one-on-ones, having more resources and tools available to them. And I would definitely make myself one of those resources and tools.
You have 1 minute for your closing statement.
Having a support system that continuously allows one to grow, to learn, and to become an effective leader, communicator, storyteller, and member is really what allows me to want to do this position, to have this position, because that encouragement and support that I received when I first started is exactly what I want to be able to provide for others. And to be honest, I know it's not easy to have those type of relationships to build on, but I've been very blessed to have different communication styles and leadership styles help me understand how to better communicate. And as Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And JFK reinforces that with efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. And I am the type of person that always puts.
I like the way you're testing WAFA. Thank you very much. Division L, Reed Stoddard. Are you with us, Reed?
I am here.
I can hear you. We'll go on to question number 1, unless you have some questions for me.
Proceed, please.
Number 1, what characteristic do you consider the most necessary in a program quality director? What characteristic do you consider the most necessary in a program quality director?
In Toastmasters, it's a learning environment. So a first-time program quality director is going to be guided by the trio, but also they have experience in life, like as a project manager, in order to schedule time and to commit the team, the Toastmaster leaders, after training them, give them guidance on what is the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, because as we try to do everything at once, sometimes we fail. Having that planning, I believe, is most important so that they can see what's this week, what's next week, what's next month, and actually focus on those goals.
Very good. Question number 2. What is your division's best practice for starting new clubs? What is your division's best practice for starting new clubs?
Well, Division L's best practice is to merge with other clubs. That's been the history in Division L, is that when things start fading, they don't want to leave. They collaborate with another club. The growth of corporate clubs and advanced clubs over the past several years has increased slowly, extremely slowly, but it is a technique. Sometimes we need advanced, corporate, and community clubs. It depends on what's going on in the community, what's going on in the corporate growth. I can't forecast based on 2 years of COVID if we are out of COVID, because everything will change. Our practice is to lead and grow and assist leaders and develop communication skills.
Very good. Question number 3. What is your most successful practice for keeping club membership above 20? What is your most successful practice for keeping club membership above 20?
With 20 members in a club, especially a community club, if you have 10 that smile, whether it's virtual, hybrid, or in person, meet and greet those that come through Toastmasters, those that come through LinkedIn, those that come through Meetup. When they come into the meeting and they feel warm and welcome, they feel it's a safe place. Those 10 people are better than an appointed committee. They have the same goal and function to support the guests and the visitors as if they're members. And that is felt and understood, and they want to belong. That's how you continuously gain new members of a variety of different generations in order to have a very active, functioning club, a healthy club.
Very good. And your 4th question, what current district practice is just not working in your division? What current district practice is just not working in your division?
Oh, I think it's hats. I think it's hats. Actually, division process and programs, TLIs, COTs, open houses, all of the different programs have a life cycle, like cheese left out or bread in the rain. Things that happen in the clubs, whether it's corporate, hybrid, whether it's community clubs, if we're integrating healthy club goals, like with moments of truth initially at the beginning of the year, the members understand and they work toward that. It's not about points. That's just an indicator. How high is the water rising up before you drown and you can't succeed? When they're healthy, they're active, they're involved. And so are the prospective members. So are the visitors and guests that by word of mouth communicate how good Toastmasters as a club is.
Thank you, Reed. You have 1 minute to provide your closing statement.
Reed, please unmute yourself.
You know, nobody ever tells me that. It's always, I break the red line. Too loquacious. One of the things that I have been practicing, though, is to reduce and be succinct. All of the other division presentations and questions have just got me excited. If I walk into our next club meeting and I'm smiling, it's because all the different recommendations that could be applied, we have an opportunity to still do it in the fourth quarter. We might be behind 20 points, but we can still score. The only way I can't score is when the reorganization takes away the leading district, when Division L might not be. But that's okay, because what that means is the remaining clubs and area directors and division directors have more of an impact in those residual clubs in their area of concentration. Somebody said, we don't want to be spread too thin. I'm not thin.
Thank you very much, Reed. And thank you to all of you for responding so loquaciously and so intelligently to the questions that were asked. And I welcome the participation of everybody. Does anybody have any questions before we shut this down? Hearing none, I will entertain your leaving. And Angie, farewell to your avatar.
Umberto, I just want to thank you and WAFA and the whole committee.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Grace.
you,
Great
Grace.
job.
Thank you, and best of luck to all of you tomorrow. And thank you all for willing to serve our district. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have
You
a
may
great
take the rest
night,
of the day off.
everyone.
Take the rest of the day off.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Au revoir.
Au
Thank you.
revoir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow, some of you. So Umberto, how are you doing? You did great.
Oh,
Questions
thank
were
you.
really great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Tried to get it.
Oh, can
done
you
as
stop the
quickly as
recording?
Yes, I'll do that.